What's up everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, I will show you a way to address the toilet flange bolt, officially called a closet bolt, that spins in the flange. I had the privilege of fixing a toilet that was not secured to the floor. The nuts for the anchor bolts were obviously not tight. When I put a socket on them to attempt to tighten them, I found that the entire bolt spun, so I removed the toilet. The anchor bolts have a T-head, which prevents the bolts from spinning when inserted into the toilet flange slot. However, the bolts still spun in this flange. This was the first time I had experienced this when installing a toilet, so I went to the internet and found that it is not an uncommon problem. There were several forums discussing this problem, but I only found one YouTube video with the solution for this, which involved running a deck screw into the floor next to the anchor bolt, trapping the T-head and preventing it from rotating. I handled this a different way, so I'm making a how-to video for you. I did briefly look into a bolt with a larger T-head, so it would actually catch and not rotate. It does not exist. I also looked into a bolt with a square shoulder. Like a carriage bolt, this would work to prevent rotating in the slot, but I can only find them available online. I was not interested in buying toilet bolts from the internet and waiting several days for them to arrive, so this is how I handled it. A new wax ring will be required, which will come with new hardware. I used the new hardware, plus 2 washers and 2 nuts from the old hardware. First, I positioned the anchor bolts in the flange. Then, I dropped down a washer. Then, I installed a nut, and hand tightened it down to the flange. I used vice grips to hold the bolt while I tightened the nut, securing the bolt to the flange. I used a rag between the vice grips and the bolt to protect the threads from being damaged. Both bolts are now secure and will not rotate when bolting the toilet down. Next, set the toilet onto the flange, ensuring that it sits flat on the floor and there is no interference between the bottom of the toilet and the extra jam nuts. This jam nut method will not work if the toilet bottoms out on the nuts without sitting on the floor. This one is all good. Now it's time to finish the job. Don't forget to remove the plug from the pipe, which should be installed to prevent toxic sewer gas from emitting while you're at work. For the last 3 toilets that I've installed, I've used the Fluidmaster Toilet Seal. No fooling around with wax. Since my flange is between even with the floor and a 1/4 inch below the floor, I'll be using the spacer. Position the toilet and tighten the anchor bolt nuts evenly, going back and forth from one side to the other side. When the toilet is on the floor and the nuts are snug, cut the extra bolt length and install the cover. Then, reconnect the water and verify that there are no leaks when you give it a flush. So, that wraps up this video. I'm not a plumber, but that's how I address the spinning anchor bolts. The only thing I would have done different is if I had easy access to these, I'd give them a try. The square head eliminates the need to double nut. So, that wraps it up. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. I'm posting a new one at least once a week. Drop any comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.